In this video, we will factor four polynomials. This will be the first problem, the second problem, the third problem, and finally the fourth problem. So let's get started. So we want to factor x cubed minus 5x squared plus 6x. And what we notice here is that each of these terms, this, and this, has an x. So we can first immediately factor out an x. And by doing that, we would get x parentheses x squared minus 5x plus 6. And if we were to distribute the x, we would get x cubed minus 5x squared and 6x. Next, we try if we can factor this term out. And so we know it's an x squared. So one term would be an x, the other would also be an x. That's what we know automatically. Next, we look at this. This is a 6. There's only a couple ways we can get 6. 1 times 6, 2 times 3, negative 2 times negative 3, negative 1 times negative 6. So let's just try negative 2 and negative 3. By doing this, we get negative 2 times negative 3 is 6. X times x is x squared. And then x times negative 3 is negative 3x. Negative 2 times x is minus 2x. So minus 3x minus 2x is minus 5x. And so the main strategy here is first, we want to get this term, x and x. Next, we want to get this term. There's 4 ways. 1 times 6, negative 1 times negative 6, negative 2, negative 3, 2, and 3. And since this middle term is negative, it eliminates 2 options. So the only way we could get negative 5x is negative 2, negative 3, and we also tried negative 1, negative 6. But if we were to plug in negative 1, negative 6, we would get minus 7x. And that's why we chose this. Next, we will do 5u raised to the 6 minus 11u raised to the third minus 12. And we'll do the exact same method. So first, we need to think, how can we get 5? The only way we can get 5 is 5 times 1. How can we get u raised to the 6? We can get that by u raised to the third times u raised to the third. Next, we say plus or minus a number, plus or minus a number. And since we have 12, negative 12, we need to think, how can we get negative 12? We could do it by 1 times negative 12. This could be negative, or this could be negative. 2 times 6, where one of these terms would be negative. 3 times 4, where one of these terms is negative. And so first, essentially what we're doing here is just guessing. I'm going to choose 3 and 4, where we would have negative 3 for this and plus 4 for this. But if you tried this, it wouldn't work, and you'd ultimately choose this. So we check. 5u raised to the third times u raised to the third would be 5u raised to the 6. Next, 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. So that's good. Next, negative 3 times 5u raised to the third is negative 15u raised to the third, plus 4 times u raised to the third is 4u raised to the third. So negative 15u to the third plus 4u to the third is negative 11u to the third. And that's why this would be the factored form. Next, we'll do this one. 4x squared plus 10x plus 6. So the first thing we can think of is like this. Can we factor anything? We can't factor out an x, but everything has a 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 3 is 6. And so we say 2 parentheses 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. Next, we factor this out. So the only way we can get a 2 is by doing 2 times 1. So we say 2x times x. Next, we think, how can we get 3? The only way is 3 times 1 or 1 times 3. So we plug in 3, 1, or 1, 3. And if I plug in like this, 3, 1, this would work because 2x times x is 2x squared. 3 times 1 is 3. 2x times 1 is 2x. 3 times x is 3x. 2x plus 3x is 5x. And so this right here would be the factored form. Last one, x squared minus 6x plus 9. First, we think, how can we get x squared? That's easy. X times x. Next, how can we get 9? We can get 9 by 1 times 9, negative 1 times negative 9, 3 times 3, negative 3 times negative 3, and since in the middle we have a negative 6x, we will choose negative 3, negative 3. And so we can check. X times x is x squared, x times negative 3 is negative 3x, negative 3 times x is negative 3x, negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. So x squared minus 3x is negative 6x, and negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. And so this right here would be the final factored form. And that's about it.